Hawks lose 3-2 to the Toronto Maple Leafs. What happened? The Hawks had structure for the first 57 minutes of game and let it all go to waste late. They blew it in this one. 2 goals given up in 8 seconds and the final 3 minutes of regulation time. That's what cost them this game. The Hawks lost structure and blew it. This was unacceptable. They got out hustled and out muscled in the final 3 minutes of play. The Hawks played great for 57 minutes of the game, but the final 3 is where it costs them. Spencer Knight misreads a dump in that gave up the game-winning goal in this one. So it's frustrating to see the Hawks finding a way to blow a game in which they should have had the victory. Here's also more stats to it that kind of add salt to the wound. The Hawks only get 1 power play, even though there were multiple chances the Hawks could have had power plays, but the refs decide to not call penalties on the Maple Leafs. To the Leafs going 1 for 3, and the final power play they get comes in the final 3 minutes of play. Shots per period, 10-7 in favor for the Blackhawks in the first period, 6-8 in favor for the Blackhawks, in favor for the Maple Leafs in the second period, 9-12 in favor for the Maple Leafs in the third period. Total shots on goal, 25-27. I'm honestly frustrated at how the Hawks found a way to lose. Yes, you're without your best player on ice. You're also without one of your top young defensemen because he was late to practice 24 hours ago. Connor Bedard injured and Artem Lashunov healthy scratched. This is frustrating. I am quite frustrated with the Hawks' way to find a way to lose in this game in which they had the win in their grasp. They were the faster team. They were playing and speaking to one another on the ice. The Leafs looked lost and distraught, but no, the Hawks find a way to blow it late in regulation. So let's get into this, shall we? In the first period of play, the Hawks were the better team. They were showing their speed, coming out with buzzing, moving the puck well, getting a ton of chances off early. And well, at 10:21 in the first period, off of the face-off win, scored by number 44, Wyatt Kaiser. His third goal of the season, assisted by number 25, Dominic Tominato, to make it a 1-0 game for your Chicago Blackhawks. This goal by Kaiser was a nice one, as Tominato wins the faceoff right back down to Kaiser on the blue line. Kaiser comes up with it, shoots it, with Tominato driving to the net to screen and maybe get a redirection, which I still think Tominato might still end up getting credited with the goal because the way the puck went in, it looked like it went off his stick. But it goes in off the glove of Wolf, and the Hawks lead by 1. And then a minute and 30 later, the Hawks are able to add to their lead. Jason Dickinson and a fire sale up front of the net shoves the puck in, and the Hawks go up by 2. Nope, it doesn't count because the Maple Leafs challenge it for goalie interference, saying Dickinson shoves the puck in by shoving Wool into the net, and it's deemed no goal. However, the Hawks get called for a penalty about 5 minutes later at 14:59 in the first period, scoring shorthanded. This one will count. Scored by number 16, Jason Dickinson. Assisted by number 95, Ilya Mikheyev. And number 46, Louis Crevier. Shorthanded goal by Dickinson. This goal was a great 3-on-1 rush up the ice, and Mikheyev sauces it over to Dickinson for Dickinson to bury it and get a goal to count for his third of the season. Then we go into the second period of play, up by 2 over the Maple Leafs. The Hawks playing with some structure, and the Leafs tried battling back, but the Hawks were saying no and keeping things wide, and Knight making some big saves. And it remained 2-0 after 2. We go into the third period of play, and things go off the rails. The Leafs come out buzzing, moving the puck, getting some chances off. Hawks have a few opportunities to put it in, but the Leafs continue to press. At 9:59 in the third period, Oliver Ekman-Larsson, off of face-off win, scores his 6th of the season, assisted by Matthews and Nylander to make it a 2-1 game. So 10 minutes remaining in regulation time. The Leafs tie the game up. Not tie the game up. Get it within 1. And the Hawks come back onto the ice after this goal and continue to press. They were moving the puck and not playing sit back and watch. But then late in the period, Nazar gets held and then tackled. Refs looking clear at it. Should have been a penalty on the Leafs, but the puck goes down the ice into the Hawks defensive zone. And Tominato gets called for a penalty for holding, and the Leafs go to their last power play of the game. And at 16:51 in the third period, Austin Matthews on the power play gets his 14th of the season, assisted by Nylander. And the Hawks look lost now, because right after this Matthews goal goes to a faceoff. The Hawks should have called a timeout, because you could tell they were clearly rattled after this Matthews goal. And Blashill does not do that. They drop the puck. Puck goes down the ice. 8 seconds after the Matthews goal, it's in the back of the net again. And Dakota Joshua scores his 6th of the season, assisted by Stetcher and McCabe, to make it a 3-2 final in this one. Hawks pull Spencer Knight with a minute left in regulation time, and they had a hard time getting into the offensive zone. When they did get into the offensive zone, they refused to shoot the puck. They were just passing. Shoot it. You're up against a goalie coming off of injury. Shoot the puck. That's why I'm also angry. They lost structure. They lost how the control of play, and they blew it. I am livid. That's how the Hawks played this game. They blew it. So down in the comments down below, I want to hear what your thoughts were on tonight's action. And thank you for watching the broadcast. Please leave a like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. And most of all, find the structure you had for the first 57 minutes and play 60, Hawks.